Hey guys, it's your girl Kiki Salty Pepper. I'm going to be telling you guys about my crazy neighbor. This neighbor, she almost tried to murder me, kill me in my sleep, slice me open. Ooh, that's sour. That is so freaking sour, you guys. Let's just go ahead and jump right into it because this is a good story, you guys. And honestly, now I feel absolutely safe. I don't feel like she's haunting me. I don't feel like she's after me. And I feel like I'm able to tell this story to you guys. So to begin, I was living in an apartment building, and it was actually like a community, like an apartment community. It had 3 stories, and I was living in the middle, on the middle floor. It was 2 apartments to each floor, and on the bottom floor it was a mother and her son, and then it was a grandmother and her children. So then the grandmother and her children ended up moving out like maybe like a few years after I had moved into the apartment. So on this one day, it was a Saturday, and I see my new neighbors pull up, and I'm like, oh my god, here's my new neighbors. Like, alright, okay. So the girl, she like walks in the building. She had a boyfriend or a husband at the time. So I'm like, okay, 2 great people moving in. So the second day that she was there in the apartment building, I am in my bed asleep at 11 o'clock at night. And then you guys, I hear the loudest bang on my door. All I hear on my door is so I'm like, oh my god. So I jump out of my bed and I go running to the door, and I'm like, oh my god. And I'm like, who is it? Who is it? Who is it? And the person comes back and says, starts yelling and cursing me out. I'm looking through the people like, wait a minute, that's the lady downstairs. And she's like, you are making too much noise. You are walking over my head, and you are stomping and playing music and jumping around, and I can't go to sleep. I'm like, lady, I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe it's the man next door. Maybe it's the people on the 3rd floor. I don't know, but it's not me. I'm in here asleep. She's keep yelling, open this door, open this door. And I'm like, I am not opening the door. She's like banging even harder, like trying to get in my apartment. She starts turning the door handle and starts trying to like bust into the apartment. So I go get my cell phone and I go get a knife. I have a knife in one hand and my cell phone in the other hand, and I am calling the police. So I'm like, please send the police officers to my house. My neighbor is trying to break into my house and she's trying to open my door. Y'all, I never saw the police arrive to someone's house this fast. And I'm hearing all of this noise outside of my window, and I'm like, I run to my window and I look outside, you guys, and my whole entire street, my whole street is covered in police officers. I never in my life saw that many police officers show up to someone's house. Like, that fast, that deep, that many police officers, that many police cars. It was just so many police cars there. And so I'm like, oh my god, the police is here. Let me look, see if the lady is still out there. I look out the door. The girl is gone. She disappeared, you guys. Disappeared. At this point, I'm starting to think like, dude, am I a ghost? Was I dreaming? Was I sleepwalking? Like, how did she leave this fast? I'm starting to really like second guess my entire life. I just called the police and the girl is gone. So the officers come running up the stairs and I open my door. And I'm just like, thank you God. I'm just like, thank God. I'm so happy to see you guys. The neighbor downstairs, she just tried to like break into my house. And the officer was like,
ma'am, you're trying to tell me that your neighbor tried to break into your house?
And I'm like, yes, she tried to come in. She was shaking the door, trying to get in, and she kept telling me to open the door, and she was banging like this on my door. So then he was like, we're gonna go talk to your neighbor now. I can hear the police knocking on her door. She opens the door, and then all of a sudden I hear her yelling at the police officers. So I'm like, oh no, she's lying on me. So I open my door. I go into the hallway, and then I see the crazy neighbor sitting on my staircase. My staircase. Remember, there's three floors. So she's sitting on my staircase, like with her legs open, her elbows are on her legs, and she's talking to the officers. The officers are just like telling her not to knock on my door again and don't disturb me again. The police actually followed me back to my apartment, and the police officer was telling me, oh, we think she was drunk because we can smell liquor on her breath. So we think she was drunk. Once the alcohol wears off, she'll be fine. And I'm just like, okay, cool. All right, guys. Sorry to bother you, officers. Thank you so much for coming. So the officers leave. But at this point, I was like, you know what? I'm not taking any chances. This girl, she tried to come in my apartment. The police, they came fast, but honestly, like, if she wanted to break in, she could. So I took a chair and I pushed it against the door just in case, like, she tried to break in again. I would have like some time to like do something about it. And then I go back in my room and I go to sleep. I go to sleep, I wake up, nothing, everything is normal. Everything is peaceful, everything is normal. I didn't see the girl that day. So I was like, okay, she must have calmed down. I think she was just drunk. So 2 to 3 days later, I was in bed. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm in my bed sleep again, and I'm dreaming and counting my sheep and having a peaceful night sleep. And then guess what happened, you guys? I'm in my bed sleep and I hear a knock on my door. Then I hear a man's voice, and the man says, open the door. And I'm like, oh my God, it's a man at my door. Like, is this her boyfriend? Is this her husband? Like, the man is like, open the door. And I'm like, I run to the door, and he's like, open the door, police, police, open the door. And I'm just like, police, police, open the door, police, police. I'm like, wait, hold on, wait. I was in my bed sleep, so I didn't really have like the appropriate clothes on to open the door. So the police officers are telling me forcefully to open the door, and I couldn't open the door. Go back, change my clothes and stuff, and then the police officer, so then I open the door for the police officer, and the police officer comes in, and he's like, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Like, trying to like look around. I'm like, wait, what? What are you talking about? Where is who? Where is the person you were having a fight with? And I was like, I wasn't having a fight with anyone. Not at all. Tonight? You're saying today? No. Like, I called the police a few days ago, but I wasn't having a fight with anyone tonight. And the police officer was like, no, your neighbor called us because she said that there was a domestic dispute going on in here, and 2 people were fighting each other. I am absolutely fine. I was honestly just in my bed asleep. So I don't understand where this is coming from. I was honestly asleep. And so then the officer was like, okay, I can see in your eyes that you were actually asleep. You look sleepy. So he just laughed it off, and he was like, okay, maybe it was just the wrong house. So as the officer is leaving, I go and look out my window. And I see something on my car, and I'm like, oh my God, there is something on my car. That was not on my car before I went to sleep. I didn't know if it was a bomb. I didn't know what it was, but all I know is that it was something on my car, and it was not there before that crazy lady called the police. So I go running outside, chasing after the officer at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just like, officer, officer. The officer jumps out of the car, and I'm yelling to him across the street. I'm like, officer, there's something on my car. There's something on my car. So the officer comes and walks towards my car, and he looks at the thing that's on the car. He's like, I can see him looking, but I didn't want to get too close because I didn't know what it was. I didn't know if it was a bomb. I didn't know what the crazy lady did to me. But when the officer picked up this object and started walking towards me with it, I said, this looks weird. Like, it looks like a little, kind of like a teddy bear or something. The officer holds the doll up like this. The doll had the most ugliest face. It was like a doll. It had like some type of hairstyle, but it was a really ugly doll. And the officer asked me, do you know what this is? I said, no, I don't know what this is. The officer said, this looks like a voodoo doll. I'm like, a voodoo doll? It was like little tiny pins stuck in the voodoo doll. I'm like, the crazy lady put a voodoo doll on my car? Officer was just like, we can't really do anything about this, and she didn't mess up any of your property. She just basically set the doll on your car, so we can't like press charges or anything like that. Just to know that there was a voodoo doll on my car, that freaked me out to the next level. I was freaked out, you guys. He was constantly and continually knocking on my door every single night. Like right outside of my window, I heard two voices. And I heard two girls talking back and forth to each other. And it sounded like my neighbor, but I wasn't really sure. So I go to my window to see who's talking, and I'm like listening against the window. And the neighbor out there talking to like one of her friends or something. She's telling her friend that she saw the Mason-Dixon line and that she can kill me and that she can blow me up and shoot me. This is what she's telling her friend about me. So like, oh my God. At this point, after she said she was going to kill me, and after she said she was going to blow up my house, after she put that thing on my car, I was just really scared and I was fearful for my life. I didn't know what was going to happen next. So I just packed my stuff up and I just left because it was crazy. The girl was on drugs, alcohol, something, but that was the story. I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. Comment down below what you would have done if you were in that situation. Do you think I was crazy? Do you think she was crazy? What would you have called the police? What would you have done? Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I have so many other crazy stories to tell you guys. So make sure you click on the subscribe button. Get to thumbs up this video. I love you guys oh so very much.